This is Couple of J's podcast
Here at the Blend Healthy Spot in Southington.
at 682 West Street. Stay tuned for the vibes. It's going to be a good time.
Oh my God, we're back again. Back again. Brothers, sisters, everybody say. Gonna bring the flavor, show you how. Got a question for you, better answer now. Am I original?
So this is Couple of J's podcast. We're here with
Carlos.
And Melissa.
and Majay.
And you are
PJ.
PJ.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves, a little bit of background.
All right, so
Don't get too deep though.
I
You know?
got you. My name is Carlos. I'm 37 years old from New York. Currently, we live in Connecticut, right? Father of 4 amazing kids and husband to this beautiful lady here.
Oh, she's blushing.
What about you? How can I go after that? Hey guys, my name is Melissa. I'm 35, mom of 4, wife, daughter, and yeah, live in Connecticut now. Relocated here, 3-4 years ago from the Bronx. So if you hear an accent, you already know.
All right, so we had talked a little bit before this. You're from the Bronx.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how it was growing up in the Bronx and how you came about meeting Melissa.
Got it. Okay, so growing up, it was tough. Hispanic, very diverse, a lot of obstacles. I was very overweight when I was younger too.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I grew up. I was still young. I was only 16 when I met Mel.
Okay.
About 15, 16, yeah. And I met this beautiful woman through my brother.
Now, what does he want?
Listen to me, lady. All right. So I met Melissa, and yeah, we had our first son at a very young age, but I'm glad that it happened because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, yeah. And then ended up in Connecticut, after the kids were older, looking for a better life.
Okay.
Because, New York City is tough.
Right.
Growing up and raising kids out there.
Right.
Connecticut is more quiet, more calm. And, at the end of the day, we did everything for the kids.
Yeah.
Because, we already grown and everything. So we wanted the best for the kids. So now we're here.
So how did New York play a part in your hustle and wanting to do better and I guess opening up a business? Did New York play a part in both your hustles? Because y'all both from New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. The fast life, the hustling, the good way. The entrepreneurship, we at one point we used to have an Etsy business where it fell in when he was laid off of a job. So when he got laid off unexpectedly, we're like, okay, what are we gonna do now? We ended up opening an Etsy business. He used to do tutus, everything personal branded. We used to do that. So I think the fast pace and seeing everybody else hustle, the patelitos in the corner and things like that, it had to do with that.
Yeah. So New York had everything. New York, we drive by and they got people on the highways trying to give you what's canepas, all types of stuff, right? It's crazy.
Mangoes, cut up mangoes.
It's New York is the most craziest place. I swear. I'm like, there's a deer crossing the highway, chilling, watching everybody. Yeah, you got people on the highway selling canepas and juices and all types of stuff. Crazy hustle.
Yeah.
So, you guys had children at a very young age. How would you feel if your children met someone at the age you guys were when you guys met each other and decided that, this is somebody I want to be with forever? How would you guys feel? And what kind of advice would you give them?
We're kind of going through that right now personally. And honestly, what I think we're trying to give the best advice when it comes to what we didn't have. Speaking to them truthfully, honestly, letting them know, take your time. First comes you, and then you up for the rest. But getting to know the person, and it's kind of tricky because the generation now, it's just, it's crazy. It's fast.
Yeah.
But from the way that we were, just having that sit down with them and being on top of them and just observing. You know, sometimes you want to be a friend, but then you also have to be a parent. And that's what I didn't have growing up.
All right. Do you guys feel like they're discouraged nowadays from having relationships, or encouraged because they have a good example through you guys?
I would say a little bit of both, but it's more on who they hang out with at school. Because outside the house is very different than with us. Like, we could set the right example, but when they out with friends, they have different influences.
Right.
Pushing them to do certain things nowadays. Me, I'm a guy. I'm a father, right? And I have my 3 oldest are boys, and then I have a baby girl. So it's like a little different when it comes to boys and girls, because boys, you try to let them go a little bit more. Girls, you try to control them, because you gotta, as a man, like, women need protection.
Right.
Because there's so many out there. There's so many guys out there looking for whatever it is, right? So I'm open for my kids to have relationship, right? Now, slow down. Ask, talk, because a lot of kids nowadays, they don't talk.
Right.
They just do whatever they got to do, and they forget about mom and dad. But, me, I always look for my kids. I talk to them and I'm starting to have certain conversations that I never had when I was their ages. Because I have my parents. My dad was in and out, though. My mom was always there, but it was always the basic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long do you guys think it took for you guys to get to that point to be comfortable with speaking to your children and being open with them like that? Was it right away, just through your experience, or did that take time? Was it uncomfortable for you guys? Like, how was that?
I think it was comfortable because we haven't kept, as they grew older and they were at an age that we can have a conversation like that, we've always been open. We don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
And we share how we met and everything that we've been through, so it can be a lesson for them.
Yeah.
Like, first, be grateful for what you have now, because what you have, we didn't have. Be grateful for your parents. Have patience with us, because I know that sometimes they don't like us. So they can be an example for them. So when we tell them, like, take your time, because we didn't.
Right.
While being together, that's where, like, I think we're already 9 months in, and I was already pregnant. So there's no, just take your time.
Yeah, it wasn't time to really, like, process. You guys didn't have time to process anything.
Right.
And we were young, like, we didn't know what the hell we was doing.
Were you guys, like, blindly in love, or was you guys just going off emotion and feelings, or?
I would say it was a little bit of everything for me, because, she was my very first actual girlfriend.
Okay.
That I did so many things with.
Right.
I was in love. Let's have fun. Let's go out. Nobody was really watching us.
And going out was to McDonald's and getting $1 McChicken just in case. All right, that was the going out. The dollar menu, straight up.
Yeah.
And you used to pay, so I gotta say it.
Hey, listen, from the bottom.
Oh, man.
Do you guys feel like the process of love has changed throughout time? Like, when you first met each other, I'm sure your love was so heightened. And then do you feel like you guys have to find that again as you guys put more years in? Like,
So, at the beginning, everything is beautiful. There's so much attention. As time went on, me and Melissa have been together for over 20, 21 years. I can say and stand by this, not the same as it was at the beginning.
right.
Because now there's bigger responsibilities, bigger things. There's bigger obstacles between me and her, right? But a lot of time I take a step back, and I do think, like, we need to do certain things to reenact or refire that feeling when it comes to whatever it was. So yeah, time has passed, and a lot changes
Right.
with everything that has happened. Yeah.
But
What would you say?
it is true, but I do think we have matured. We're not the 14 or 16-year-old from before who their dream was just to be more than 2 hours together for that day, right? Now is what's our 90-day plan? What's our goal for this year? And in between, make sure that we make time for each other.
Right.
So it's not like the beginning, but we have a goal at the end that we're running towards to, and we're not upset at the end of the day.
Right.
We remind each other, or I remind him, like, when was the last time we went out? Oh, August? Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Let's get all that.
Yeah.
So, having this business, you guys are working together a lot. You guys got to go home together. How do you guys balance your time, the relationship time, the kids' time, and how important is it to find balance in that?
Very important,
It
because
is.
you can clash, right? Having a business, having a family is tough. Something that we talk about every other day is how can we make time? And we have a plan, and so far it's been 2 weeks in that we're putting it together where, okay, we know that Monday to Thursday is kind of crazy, but maybe Friday night we can make it movie night at home with the kids, or when we go home, leave work here and be with the kids, because it's tough, you know, and making sure that they know that we're there for them, remind them.
Do you make time for like your personal lives though outside of each other? How is that?
So we try, right? I've always worked for corporate for like a long time. I've always been the one mostly away from the family, right? Mel was more at home with the kids. She had a job, here and there. But now that we have a business together, right? We get a chance to work together. And at times I tell her, hey, I could run today alone, stay home, do whatever you got to do for the kids, for yourself, and then I'll go home later on. So we try to make time for ourselves, right? And we are working towards where there's a monthly calendar. I did tell her last year, I told her we're going to take one day for us every month, whatever the day is, that's just for us. Whether it's right after the business, at least between me and her. Because I know that it's very important to make time for each other.
Right.
Because there's so much going on with the business, and then we got so much going on at home. Where we're going to fall in,
Right.
But I think how I make time for myself is me going to the gym. That's my me time. That's how I see it. And the way that I feel afterwards, like, yeah, my day could have been long as heck, but I'm going to make sure that I get there. And then when I get there, I'm just focused on me. I'm not worried about the house. I'm not worried about if I did dishes or not. It's just me.
Yeah. So obviously, opening up a business, someone had to motivate the other person. Are you guys sharing that motivation on a constant basis? Like, do you motivate her to do certain things, and do you motivate him to do certain things, or it's just like internal and you guys have an understanding?
I can say that Melissa motivates me a lot and pushes me a lot and gives me a lot of ideas. Right? I might have thought about the idea. I might have thought of the motivation, but it takes more. How can I say this? She pushes more, right? I'm just here to run it, to make sure it runs. She's the idea. She's the brains, and I try to execute it, but I always need her.
Yeah.
Right? So as it may seem like I'm the leader of the business, but in reality, she is.
Right.
Because I always try to do everything so it could be run successful and that she's good with it. Meaning that, that's what we should be doing. So
I don't see it like that. I do come up with plans. I do come up when I'm sharing. I'm like, oh my God, Carlos, you know what I think we should do for next week, or we should do this, and it's just it just comes to me. So how it can get better. I think that's where my mind is. It's like every time, like, how can we get better? How can customer service be better? How about what's new on the menu? It's just how to be better, and that energy comes from, I think, our upbringing. It's just it's just still moving, not settling. And maybe if I do come up with the idea, the one who execute is him. So
That dynamic, that's such a hard dynamic to have. Like, I think that's what's lacking in society nowadays, is two people understanding their roles and being okay with it, right? Like, the feminists of the world will probably have a problem with, like, Well, that's all you do. You come up with the ideas. You're just gonna let him lead, and they have an issue with everything. How do you guys maintain your own views of your own reality and keep it within your relationship and not let like social media interfere with your thoughts and ideas of how to run the relationship? Because there's so much out there where everybody's giving advice
Yeah,
about
telling
this,
you how you should be
how
running
you
a
should be
relationship.
doing it, but you got to kind of block that out, right, and stick to what y'all know.
And what works for you guys.
When we hear something that is like, okay, well, maybe this is trending in a relationship or in a marriage, if it doesn't sit well with us, we're not running towards it. Just because it's trending, we're not going to go after it. You know, if we have been working alongside each other for this long and it's been working, I'm not going to shift it. I'm not going to change it because somebody else is doing it. It's just, okay, now how can we just improve ourselves and both feelings be valid, not just one person.
Okay. So do you feel like you need validation or reassurance every now and then, or you guys are pretty secure? Like after 21 years, you guys just kind of know what each other is going to give and pour into.
I would say for me, being together with Melissa for so many years, right? Like I don't need validation. I don't need for her to tell me, "Oh, hey, I'm yours," right?
Right.
Because we're building something together. We have 4 kids together, and not that everything will fall apart if we're not together. Because at the same time, it's like at least for me, I can speak that I'm gonna make sure that everything stays good. Whether the kids are good, she's good, I'm good, right? Social media nowadays plays so much in people, and since I could see a friend going to every weekend with his girlfriend, whatever, away. That doesn't make me want to say, oh, you know what, I want to be like that, right? Because we're going through different things. Maybe we can do that, now, but later on, I'm writing it down so we could do it. So yeah, I don't need validation. Yeah, I can say that for me. Now I do know that, from a male perspective, like I do have to tell you, hey, I love you, right? Because I'm a guy and I don't need that to be told to me, but sometimes I can't appreciate it.
Right.
But to a woman, I think that's needed, even though she might not need that validation to be said, but you still want to do it.
Right.
Because,
right.
The feelings, I would say that the feelings from a woman is very different than a man.
Right. Okay.
You know?
We okay with just like how everything running correctly. We don't really need too many
like
words.
birthdays,
Yeah.
Christmas. Like I'm not expecting a gift or anything like that.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to get me something? Just give me another hat.
Right.
I'm simple. Like I don't need, oh, hear this. As long as I know that I got you and we're good, or that you're good, I'm good.
Right.
I don't think it's validation. Our love language is very different. We're very different, and I'm happy about that.
We are too.
Because it's just, but he does things till this day that it's, he still thinks about me. Like he'll come out of the blue and just, kiss my forehead or, do things that we used to do in the beginning that is like, okay, But not because he doesn't do it, do I think that he doesn't love me still. But I don't. If he doesn't tell me that he does love me, if he does not tell me that, I don't think that he doesn't.
And
so we have different love languages.
So what's your love languages?
He's more.
Jeez. Okay. All right. So I love to cook.
Yeah.
I'm a big cook, right?
I know.
And yeah, I cook. If it wasn't gonna be Blend Healthy Spot, I'm pretty sure it would have been a restaurant.
Thank God it wasn't.
But yeah, I'm glad it wasn't. I'm happy with this, right?
Right.
But I always try to satisfy her, and when I'm cooking something, I like to cook something for her, and make sure that the kids can eat it, right? Because the kids are grown already.
That's his love language. I'm more affectionate.
Me too.
Yeah. But like.
And it took some time for me to understand, because being together, being young and in a relationship, I don't even know that the love language existed. Like
right.
What? But and I'm happy that I was introduced to that, because being with him in the early stages of being together, I would get upset because he's not like this. Oh, why you don't show me this? And then when I learned what love language was, I'm like, okay, just because he doesn't take me out every Friday doesn't mean he doesn't love me. Let me appreciate more that he's behind the kitchen pouring his love into a dish so I can enjoy it. That's another thing that it's very important to learn each other's love language and be okay with it, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the hard part is being able to accept one another for your different love languages. Like I said, me and him, love languages are very different. He's more of like act of service, as I'm more like affectionate, time, like all of those
Yeah.
things. And he doesn't really care about stuff like that. So where we used to lack in those areas, I feel like through time we've gotten way better in filling in those
Those gaps.
gaps.
Yeah.
So, and it helps the relationship so much more when you can recognize, like, okay, my partner likes this, so let me work with them in this way, instead of being like, well, I'm not like that. That's not my love language. You know what I mean? Because nothing will ever work and be its best if you don't work with each other. And that's number one. Key number one is working with
Yeah,
each
I
other
agree.
no matter what it is.
I agree. What's the recipe for 21 years? You guys would say, like, what is the main ingredient for it?
Honestly, I would say hustle.
Hustle
Like
together.
we hustle together. We got, other than trying to build an empire, right? We got our kids.
Yeah.
Like we want to provide. We want to give them things that we never had.
Mhm.
You know, hustle, leadership, and I've always gotten her back no matter what, whatever the struggle was. I've always made sure that I was always there. Of course, you know, 15 years, 12 years, it was different. Now it's like a different level because it's more mature.
Mhm.
We've been through a lot of struggles, and I would say that,
Okay.
and at the end of the day, the love. Always make sure that the love is there.
And an extra tip to that recipe: put God first, or whatever you believe in. Work on yourself harder than you work on anything else. Because if you're not okay, nothing or nobody is gonna be. It's not gonna be okay.
Right.
And everything else he said.
So it's important for to give each other space to grow and to just allow one another to be who you are, right? Because I feel like for so many years, like 21 years, you start to carry the characteristics of that person. You guys are literally joined as one. So how do you guys find yourself outside of each other? Like you know what I'm saying?
Outside of the business, outside of
Like
the kids.
do you ever feel like you're lost within yourself, or do you guys feel like you know exactly who you are if in and out of the relationship?
Yes, I am. I do.
Especially you guys being
How
so
do you
young.
get to that point? Like, what? Because I know at some point it's like you guys are raising kids. You're opening up businesses. You kind of everything is like outwards, and it's kind of hard to I think this is where most people get lost is they become intertwined so much with that other person, they lose themselves, they lose their identity. How do you guys find your identity? And after 21 years of being together constantly and going through these processes,
Or when did you find it? Because I know you guys said that you guys started dating very young, and from there on, you guys just been together. So through that, it's like, have you guys always had that individuality in the relationship, or did you have to eventually wake up and be like, wait, I need to be my own person?
I think we've always, although we've been together, we've always had different behaviors. Now, we have been put in situations where we have to grow as a leader independently. And for me, I think that's where, okay, I know who I am. I'm not getting lost in the motherhood. It's just, that's where I have grown pretty much. What do you think?
I would say for me, we opened this business back in let's say not open. We started the thought and the process 2021. I think I really found myself who I truly was and who I was capable of becoming once I opened up the door to the business. Because there, before that, I was so comfortable because all I had to do was show up for a pay. As long as I was there on time, I was getting paid. Finish my time, go back home. My kids was there, my wife was there, and that's it. So it's like we were so comfortable there. So here, like I saw the real struggle to keeping up the business. What was I capable of? So I think I would say that I found my true identity there.
That's awesome.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's. Did you ever think about that before the business? Like, who am I? Like, what am I doing?
I have, because I was always trying to figure out something better or the next plan, right? Um, like I said, I was lucky enough meeting Melissa, the woman that she is, the woman that she has become today, and that was always secured, right? In that aspect, but I've always known that there's more, even till today. I still know that there's so much more that I can accomplish. I just gotta keep going.
So would you say he who finds a wife finds a good thing?
You could say that, yeah, because
You know what I'm saying?
that's so having a partner is very important, right? But I also think that that's more because I started with a partner at a young age.
Yeah.
But maybe somebody that been not alone but very independent since like young to like wherever they at now, that plays a lot. Like I've always depended from her, just like she always depended from me, and it's been so long that I'm not gonna say that in the future it might not work out if we get separated for whatever the reason is.
We're not gonna
But-
put that bad juju out there. We want
No, definitely.
love
After
and
fucking
forever.
saying
It's a
nothing.
But
forever
at the
thing.
end of the day, like we gotta be
Going
realistic,
nowhere.
right? We gotta be realistic with what
Yeah, I
happens.
know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But having a partner has made me who I am, and it's just pushing me for more.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also making sure who you have next to you. A lot
Right.
of people settle and they don't go after their dreams because the person that they're with, thinks that dream is too big or
Yeah.
that they're not worth it. So it's also be smart with who you're sharing your life with.
I do want to extend my thank you. Thank you for having us so much. Like,
Yes,
this was
thank
such
you.
a beautiful experience. You guys are amazing. You have a forever customer. I'm here. As long as you guys I don't care if you open 3 spots. I'm gonna be all 3 spots.
Oh, I actually did have a question about that. So what is your plans for the future when it comes to your business, or is this where you kind of stop?
I think we just started. We do have plans for this year at least to open up 2 more blends.
Wow.
And other few projects. Because if COVID taught us one thing, it's just not one thing. You go for the bag. You go for the full bag. So yeah, a few more projects to come.
Yeah. Lovely. Nice.
awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah, we're gonna be there.
Oh,
Like I said, thank you. This place is beautiful. You guys got to come check it out.
Definitely.
They're on West Street in Southington. Once again, great people, great souls. Man, this was a really, really great episode, and I appreciate you guys for giving us your time. And
First
Thank
guest
you.
on
Yeah.
here. Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Thank you for thinking of us and making us an option.
yeah,
Of course.
It means the world.
And something more about Carlos and Melissa. Like when we meet amazing people like you guys,
yeah,
you guys go from like customers to like family.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry.
Because that's how we are, right? Like we want to surround ourselves with people that are like-minded us, that know that there's so much more out there.
right.
So don't come to Blend only for a drink. Come to Blend because whether you need something or not, you want to hang out, you want to talk, whatever it is, we're here no matter what.
Appreciate
You
that.
know?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you.